Hi everybody. This week 5 announcement's coming a little bit early this week. I'm going to open it up actually tonight on Wednesday of week 4, along with the peer editing stuff you'll need for next week. The reason I'm doing that is because this week you're drafting that final kind of substantial blog post, the quote-unquote essay for this unit. On Sunday you need to have that draft done and ready to submit for peer editing. With these online courses, peer editing sometimes takes some figuring out the first time through, and so I want to give you some time to plan ahead for that, to see what's expected, and to ask questions before Sunday, because you want to hit the ground running Sunday with that. Sunday night, early Monday morning, you need to be able to post your draft to the discussion board. I'll show you that in just a second, so that you can get your feedback to your peers by, say, Thursday, Friday. Friday I'd say absolute latest, because the final blog post has to be made by Sunday night the 14th, which means you want to give people some time to give use your suggestions, give your suggestions some thought, incorporate them into their writing. You also want to post right on time Sunday. I will warn you that people who post late oftentimes don't get their work reviewed. You can still go in and review two peer posts to get your points, but you won't get any feedback on your own post because people get in there and get it done quickly. So let me walk you through what's up for week 5. And again, like I said, week 5 is next week. This is week 4. I'm opening it up and walking you through this so you know what to expect for next week, so you can plan ahead a little bit. As always, you want to read the text announcement very, very carefully, and listen to this video announcement once or twice. Between this, the text announcement, and the task sheets, it should be pretty clear what you're expected to do for this week. Let's hit that task sheet first. Again, course documents, as always. You click on task sheets and you come down here. These week 4 tasks are the one you're working on right now. The week 5 tasks are what you'll be doing for next week. The first one here is the peer editing, and this is an important part of any writing course. It really is an important part of collaborative writing in the workplace. More and more often you'll be writing with others, or at least having others working with you in the projects about what you're writing. So it's important to be able to take feedback, give feedback, and apply it to your writing. And I will say, take this seriously. Take your time giving feedback, and then read the feedback you get carefully. I can't tell you how many times somebody has gotten a poor grade on an essay, and oftentimes the very low grades come because there's one big thing missing. They've missed the point of the assignment, they've overlooked something crucial, the organization is very weak, or there's content missing. Almost always, when that happens, one of the peer reviews will mention that issue, and obviously the writer read the peer reviews and kind of disregarded them and just submitted the writing as is. So I have seen that again and again. So do take some time to give good feedback, and also take some time to use the feedback, read the feedback. And of course, if you're not sure a piece of advice you've gotten is good advice, you can come to me and ask. That's what I'm here for. Your final blog post is due Sunday the 14th. Your peer editing draft is due this coming Sunday the 7th, and that's on your week 4 task sheet, so don't get confused with that. This is when this quote-unquote essay is due. This is when you're going to have to post this final post to your blog. The peer editing guidelines are an important document. You can find it here by clicking on this link, as I'm about to do, or you can also find it back in this Unit 1 resources packet, the last thing in that packet. But coming back to the task sheets, because you can find it right there, so you don't need to go to the packet for it, the peer editing guidelines walk you through step by step what to do for this. Now, this is very important. To get full points, this is your weekly points for this week, to get full points you need to review 2 drafts, and you need to follow these to the T, and especially that means you need to give feedback, detailed feedback on the questions in this peer editing sheet. So your first step is to read this carefully, and of course come to me if you've got questions about it early on. And I would suggest reading this before Sunday, so you know what you're going to be doing after you posted Sunday. And of course you can post before Sunday if you like. So read over that very, very carefully. Whoops, I went back to the packet again. There we go. Then after you have completed your peer editing, you can go ahead and, once you've gotten your feedback, once you've revised your draft, by next Sunday, very, very early Monday, you will make that final, that substantial post to your blog. That's sort of the essay, which is described in the week 4 packet in some detail. Then there's one final kind of mini process post, and this will be the last 25 points. Remember, this unit is made up of 100 points for that longer post, the kind of essay, and then 25 weekly batches of points for the weekly process posts you've been doing. So this will be one last process post, reflecting on how this first unit went for you. Finally, and again, this is next week, not this week, but next week I have some introductory reading for the next unit so we can hit the ground running on week 6 with that next unit. Now, where will you be posting your drafts? Once your draft is done, and let me back up just a second and remind you, week 4, I suggest that you do the initial draft in your word processor instead of to your blog. And the reason for that is you're going to want to be able to post your work into the discussion board so you can get feedback, and then you want to be able to revise it and polish it, and then post the final polished post to your blog. So this is where you're going to post your draft. You'll click on communication here, discussion board as always, and now you'll see there's a new discussion board here called Unit 1 Find Your Peers. So by Sunday night, by this coming Sunday, the 7th of February, you want to come here, you will click on New Message. Here you will type your draft, Ray's draft, and then from your word processor just copy and paste your message in here, and then click on Submit Message. I will put a test here, I'll delete it later on. Okay, so you come in here and you read this person's draft. This is a pretty boring draft actually. One thing I'll say is if you see somebody's gotten a couple of bits of feedback on their draft already, hold off and try to catch somebody new. It would be nice if everybody got some feedback, although again, if you post at the last minute, don't expect feedback. What you want to do, click on this draft, click on Reply, and then in this box, once you've followed the directions, read the draft a couple of times, made some initial notes, here's where you will answer those questions in detail. I want you to do it here. You cannot do it in an email, and the reason is I will come in next week and grade these. If you email your feedback, I can't see it, so I can't grade it. So unless it's posted here directly to the forum, I can't give you points for it. Okay, I'm going to back up, and I'm going to make this go away because you don't have to read that once you get going on your own work. So that is what is up for week 5. Duck in, and at least read the peer editing guidelines carefully. The rest of the tasks you can hold off till next week. You don't have to worry about the reading for next week or anything like that until next week. But read the peer editing guidelines, and then come to me early on with any questions. And that way Sunday you can post your drafts, get in there, read, and then have some time to revise those before they come into me the following week. So take advantage of that time to kind of polish things and pull them together. That is it. So this is my week 5 announcement. I, of course, am not going anywhere. I'm checking in. You won't hear an announcement from me on the weekend again, but as always, I'm around if you got questions.